Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched the finale of Survivor Winners at War. That's season 40. I'm recording this a couple weeks after the fact. I don't know why this always happens. I just don't feel very rushed to do the finale episode sometimes. And it's been those couple of weeks since I've watched this, so I'm just going off of my notes. But I wanted to not leave the season hanging like I have a couple other times. But yeah, I am really happy with this episode. So spoilers ahoy. If you haven't seen this episode and haven't found out who won Survivor Winners at War yet and who got eliminated leading up to that, then stop listening now and go watch it. It's real good. It's a 3-hour finale. Basically, the reunion is maybe like, it's not even really a reunion so much as a Skype session to recap everything that was going on. By the way, why isn't anybody using Skype? Skype is great. I haven't used it, and I haven't used any video chatting app other than FaceTime. And I've only used that like a couple of times. And that's just because I was talking to people who also had iPhones. But anyway, go open up your Skype, dust off your Skype account a little bit and see how it's doing. Okay. Anyway, we see that Jeff Probst has built his own set in his garage to host this finale from. So I guess that was fun. We have the Edge of Extinction competition. They have to go, it's a whole rope obstacle course. Natalie has a whole bunch of advantages, but she gets hung up hard on the first part of the, she doesn't have to go around the fences, but she gets to start with the rope going around the post. And she has a lot of trouble with it. She loses most of the lead that she had, or even more than the lead that she had. But she does get caught up. They also have to do a rung bridge where they have to make a bridge out of pieces of rope and just do one little piece of rope at a time. That looked pretty interesting. But the people with one advantage, they all get to skip the fence. And then Natalie, who's the only one with 3 advantages, she skipped digging for her rope pieces, and got to skip 1/3 of the rope bridge. So 1/3 of the rope bridge is already assembled. So Natalie does end up winning, and she gets back into the game. It's incredible. Rob, he ends his run with 188 days total. I think he'll be back at some point. He's got to break 200. He's got to break 200. But anyway, we then had an immunity challenge for everybody who's now in the game. I forget who's in the game at this point. Natalie's back in there. There was a ramp. Oh, a big old ramp. It was like a big water slide. Is that what this one is? Oh, I should have rewatched the episode or really skimmed through it. But yeah, I really like the challenges in this episode. Maggie and I have been talking about, I wish that they did something like in Cook Islands where they had to go to different stations doing all kinds of different obstacles to get to pieces for their puzzle and all that. And they did do that because they had this whole thing that like after. Okay, so they had to go the 3 different like bridge types. Yes, this is the one with the water slide. I'm remembering now. And I get 3 different puzzle pieces, and then they had to do different levels, stack different levels so that they're all the same height. And it was a challenge that Michelle had already done, and she was really behind everybody. But then when she got to the puzzle, she just tore through it and won. And everybody else is like trying to copy what she was doing and all that. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. She knows exactly what she's doing. Trying to copy her, that's like chasing after a cheetah. You're not going to do it. Speaking of cheetahs, she says they're all a bunch of cheaters. So I think it was Michelle. She wants to make Tony play an idol. And let's see. I can't remember all this stuff. Sarah thinks that Natalie would have told her if Tony was going to be the target, because Sarah knows what's going on, she says. But Sarah talks about in tribal council, a weight is lifted off her shoulders, that she shouldn't feel bad about how she played last season, because it's the same exact way a lot of male players have played and gotten appreciation for. So Natalie plays her idol, Tony plays his idol, and I don't think they even needed to. Yeah, they canceled out all of the votes, which is crazy. So Michelle was safe. Natalie ended up being safe because she played an idol. Ben ended up being safe because he played. Oh yeah, Ben played his idol. Tony played his idol. So Natalie got 4 votes and she was saved. Ben got 2 votes and he was saved from the idol. So everybody had to re-vote between Denise and Sarah. And it was a unanimous vote for Denise, because Sarah and Denise didn't. They could only vote for each other, so that they didn't vote. Tony is really mad that they didn't believe him, and the big idol search begins at midnight by Tony, and everybody else joins in the hunt early morning, and Natalie finds another one. So then we have another immunity challenge. They're on the beach. They have to, let's see, water balance, key, net, sandbags on the ramp, water, balance, key, net, sandbags. Oh, right. They started out in the water, had to make their way onto the beach, and then land 2 sandbags onto a little pedestal platform thing. Tony wins that challenge. Sarah, when she's talking to Natalie, she notices something weird around Natalie's wrist and says, hey, what's that? What's that? Tell me what that is. Meanwhile, Tony is up above them in the spy nest, and so that was the worst experience of my life, because he was stuck up there, and it was for a really long time he was like shaking and he could barely stay in the tree. But yeah, Sarah knows that Natalie has that idol, and that kind of makes up for her really, really believing that Natalie didn't have an idol at the last tribal council. So maybe she was just extra aware of that because of that mistake. So they go to tribal. Ben wants Sarah to vote himself. Yeah, Ben offers himself up to Sarah because of all kinds of reasons, but mostly like the points that she was making at the last tribal council, and he gives her his blessing to vote him out, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. But we get 3-2. Ben gets 3 votes. Michelle gets 2 votes. Ben is eliminated, and we're down to the final 4, which yeah. Let's get on to the next immunity challenge. It is the ball inertia challenge, which has the whole wire rail maze thing with the balls going down, and that it switches between which path the ball takes every other ball. And they have to eventually add more and more balls onto there. And Tony is out at number 1. He was down on his knees so that I wouldn't have to hunch over. But I don't know if that is the reason, but he did lose. He was the first one out. Next out was Sarah, and then it came down to Natalie versus Michelle. They're both doing really well. They're approaching the record for how many balls are going all at once. Natalie had so many close calls, like amazing saves by Natalie, and she ends up winning, which is awesome. So she's guaranteed in the final 3. Tony was enchanted back at camp by Michelle's fire making, because he's like, what, how are you doing this? This is amazing. They're all really good at fire making. And and then when they're talking about it, they're like, I forget exactly what they said, but Sarah's like, you want to shoot me now? After this analogy of like, if somebody was going to shoot me, I want it to be you, or something like that, that they want to go head to head. And I thought that was a great ending to their story, or not really an ending, but an ending to this chapter of their story. Sarah versus Tony in fire making. I thought for sure Sarah was going to win because Tony was being shown at the beach as being very, very bad at making fire. I wrote down boo because I wanted Sarah to win because I wanted all the points. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I looked at my... I did. Yeah, I did look at my final. I think I got third place total or something like that. Let's see. FantasySurvivorGame.com. Log in there and we go to the final. Yep, I got third place with 100 points, just 1 point ahead of fourth place. First place, they got 110 points, and I think they mostly got a whole bunch of points from Natalie getting a bunch of stuff, because Natalie is one of their picks, one of their tribe members. But yeah, I feel okay with that. I didn't get the most vote points. I also didn't get the most survivor points. Somebody got 9 bonus points. A couple of people got 9 bonus points. That's a lot. So anyway, let's see. So we get to the fire making challenge. Tony wins. Lacina, the tribe has spoken. And so we're down to the final 3. I did not take any notes about Final Tribal Council, but it was pretty good. I enjoyed that part of the show, and they all made really good arguments for themselves. Tony, Natalie, and Michelle. Because they did all get there in very, very different ways. And man, this season was so good. Well, Tony won with 1 million votes, and Natalie got second place with 4 votes, and Michelle didn't get any votes, which I was kind of sad about that. Like, she should have, I wish she had gotten like 1 or 2. Not like it would have mattered as far as placement. She'd still have gotten the same placement, but man, that can't feel good to not get any votes at all. But it's still awesome that she made it to the final 3. It's so cool that Natalie came back and like fought as hard as she could when she got back as well and got into the final 3. Yeah, it was a good season. I liked it. So congratulations, Tony. It was an awesome season. Congratulations to everyone on this season, because they all had won already, and they had all won our hearts. Whatever. So, yeah, I hope this isn't the last we've seen of Tony and Sarah, because as that relationship, their friendship is so much fun to watch, and gotta get Sarah a second win at some point. She's gotta surpass Tony. Get her out there winning $3 million in the next one. All right, so that was Survivor Winners at War. I don't know. It's definitely in the running for my favorite season of all time. I am not upset at all with who won. I am upset that Sarah got knocked out. She wasn't even in the final 4. I think if Sarah had defeated Tony, I think no matter who was in the final 4 or final 3 against Tony is going to win. But so if Sarah had knocked out Tony, I'm not really sure that Sarah would have won. I think it's that Natalie stood a really good chance of winning there, but who knows? I also thought that Michelle would get at least a couple of votes, and at some point, a couple of points throughout Final Tribal Council, I thought, oh, she could win this. She might be winning everybody over. She has a pretty good argument of why she deserves to win as well. It all depends on like who's if people are holding grudges or not with how the votes were gonna go. But Tony won, so there you go. All right, well that is it for this season of Survivor. Let me know what you thought by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe, healthy, and happy out there in all the infinite multiverses. And I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.